Congratulations! Now you're a community councillor, ready to take on your new roles and responsibilities. You and your fellow councillors are a team. Your mission to serve the best interests of your community.
I remember when I first started, I didn't have the confidence because I used to go to NWTAC regional meetings. It was hard to speak, to different people. You'd have ideas in your mind, but bringing it out is just different, and making the point clear and as to exactly what you want to say. It wasn't easy in the beginning. You had to learn that, how to deal with people, talk to people, and make your points clear.
I was on the shy side when I started, so it took a while for me to get comfortable and begin speaking at council meetings, but it seemed the more that I did it, the more that I felt comfortable. And plus in my first term I was the youngest person on council, so that was really intimidating.
Well, we have a community member that ran for council, and she's learning a lot. She didn't think that she would be learning as much as she is, and she's enjoying it. We learn everything, right from budgeting, right to planning, and what needs to be changed and what could be fixed. It's very interesting. I enjoy being on council.
The cemetery is the next item, and you
need to have an open mind, and you have to be willing to learn, because you're not going to know everything right off the bat. You're not going to understand what they're talking about half the time if you've just got elected. But as long as you're willing to learn and willing to listen, then you do fine. I've been on there a year. I still don't know everything. I'm still learning. So if you're going to go into it not knowing about politics, you need to have an open mind and be willing to learn and listen. Other councillors, the ones that have been in there for years and years, you need to listen to them. And if they're telling you you're doing something wrong, you need to take it as positive criticism, because they know what they're talking about. They've been there for years.
We have a really good council this term. We have a few very experienced ones who go back a few terms. We've got some other newbies as well, myself included. But we work well as a team. We break up into little groups and do our assigned tasks for drug-free zone or conflicts of interests or this and that. But we can all come back at the end of the day, get together and have a frank discussion about whatever the issue is, and it's good. It helps us reevaluate our own arguments.
As a councillor, you will be making important decisions, so you need to keep well informed. You are now serving the public, so you need to be involved and be good at communicating.
Maybe you could talk a little bit about
You're in a leadership role, so it's important how you exercise your authority and that you show respect for others.
So the way I deal with things, I show everybody respect, and they think they like that, and they work closer with you.
They increased our financials for this year, and that's what I mentioned before. We are doing a lot of our bingo fundings. We get money from our bingos.
As a councillor, you'll attend regular council meetings along with the other councillors and the mayor or chief, the senior administrative officer or band manager. And because most meetings are public, there may be also members of your community in attendance, especially those who are being affected by items that you might be discussing. The way in which meetings are conducted and the way in which you participate in them are very important to the success of the council and to your image as councillor. The council meetings have a particular set of rules and a general structure to follow. The mayor acts as the chair at the meeting, and there is always an agenda to follow.
I always ensure that they have all the information that is required prior to meeting, like minutes and financial statements.
Good morning. Did you have a draft of the minutes from last night's meeting?
Everything is prepared for council prior to the meeting, and I review the agenda, and 3 days in advance of the meeting I ensure that the SAO provides an agenda to all the councillors, so they have time to review all the documentation prior to the meeting.
Council meetings need to be well planned and well run, and it helps if councillors are well prepared. There may be items to vote on such as policies, bylaws, and resolutions.
For coming up with a new Parks and Recreation bylaw.
There is an opportunity for everyone on council to bring up items that they feel are important and a chance for some discussion. As well as voting on policies, bylaws, and resolutions at council meetings, a councillor also sets policies and planning, such as strategic, capital, energy, human resources, land use, emergencies, and recreation. A councillor may also serve on committees for these areas. In fact, your committee work is among the most important work you will do.
And depending on the meeting we're having, the information is provided to us, and we have to sit down and read it and kind of catch ourselves up, because this is the agenda items that are going to be on there. It's going to be brought up. You need to know what they're talking about. Here's your information. Read up on it, and if you have input, be ready to put it in.
You could easily put in 2 to 3 hours in a week. You have the background material, you know what the issue is. We come in there pretty well informed, and the town staff have gathered the information for us that we need, so we're not starting from scratch and having to put it together ourselves.
I think as long as you come with an open mind and you're willing to research, do a lot of reading, and just prepare yourself for council meetings.
I would say be prepared to listen, do your homework. There's a lot of research that you have to do as well, and you have to be prepared.
I go where the answer is, whether that be with the SAO, with a former councillor, maybe somebody on the staff, somebody who's a current councillor, the chairperson or mayor, member of the public. Anybody that I think would be able to help me and give me the information, I would go and ask.
Ethan and JJ.
The most important member of your team is the public. This means that you need to involve the community and be involved in the community in order to know what the public needs and what their priorities are.
Part of being on town council is also talking to people and being available. So you're going maybe to a few more meetings, you're listening to people complain about stuff, you're trying to get the view of a lot of people in the community. So it does take time. I mean, you have to be a people person. You have to want to be out there. You want to talk to people, and you need to be somebody who's really interested in solving problems.
I like them to know that I'm a councillor and they can come to me for advice anytime they feel like. Because that's what I'm there for. That's what I'm elected for. You know, to make the right decisions for the people, and I represent the community.
We are the elected representatives, but we're also dealing with the staff in the city. So there's a balance between getting information from the administration and information and input from citizens, and taking those two things and making the best possible decision according to what you know. And that isn't always easy.
You know, you get on council for the first time and you think, well, I'm going to change the world now and everybody's going to do what I want. Unfortunately, you don't realize there's 7 other people on that council and you have to convince them.
You can't have a council that's not working as a team. You can, of course, vote against each other and have your own opinions, which is fine, because I'd rather have a political debate than just unanimous consent all the time. But if you can't work together, well, you're not going to get anything done, ever.
If you're just creating conflict all over, I mean, you're not getting anywhere. You have to work well together in order to be successful.
We do have our disagreements with each other, but at the end of the council meeting, it's either you've compromised and you've decided, okay, you know, this is not what I wanted 100%, but that's not what they wanted 100% either. We're meeting each other halfway. I think we kind of balance out each other.
Nice, like if it is able to be changed, but if not, then I guess.
The way we make decisions is we go around the table and we give our input, but everyone supports what the decision is, and that's very important. You know, once we leave the room, everybody is comfortable with our decision that we made.
Maybe we'll have a 5-4 vote on an issue, But once it's decided, everybody has to support it. You know, even though you voted against it, if I rule that a motion is passed, and council has to support that decision. You can't go out on your own and start slamming it down and telling people all of these bad stuff. You know, you got to support the decision as council.
So it's very important that we work all together. We don't work for one person. We work for the whole community.
Being a councillor can be a demanding and challenging job, but it is also a great opportunity to participate in your community. Your hard work and the dedication of your time and energy are helping to make your community a better place to live.